What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is SuperAfim. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Brickhead. I don't know. I don't know how I can say how else I can say this, but I am excited and I am terrified at the same time. I'm excited because we don't see Kronos. I'm terrified because we see Loki. Not that I think that Loki is a bad god on this map, just that I think that Loki on this map, I reckon you need to play this map a solid 20 times to really start understanding how you can squeeze as much Loki advantage on this map as you possibly can. Now, he is up against Isis, and Isis has got one game plan and one game plan alone here for this map. And that game plan is going to be get yourself on both sides of the water with 12 fish, hold on to the water, if not win one side of the water with Anubis, and go on to win the game with some incredibly solid central control tactics, utilizing Ancestors Eclipse, or maybe just Ancestors if you go for Anubis. And find a win where that's concerned. But the thing is that with Brickhead going Loki here, he will have access to Hersir, Hall of Thanes, and an ability to defend here. The question is exactly what sort of a strategy is Brickhead going to do? Now, I do like, for example, I like Norse, I like Loki, I like Odin, and even sometimes you could actually make this strategy work with Thor against our Kronos. It's like the really, really fast advanced times, and also going for like a Heimdall rush. But against Egyptian, it doesn't really work, especially not against Isis, who's got access to monument protection. But against Egyptian, it doesn't really work as well. They get the 3 towers, they get the monument protection, they get the axemen. Everything can be very, very tough here. But we'll see how this game is going to go for Brickhead as he's starting to get those fishing ships out. It doesn't look to me like he's gone for the second dock here, though he is getting himself a second Skraeling, or a second Ulfsark out, I should say, as we already see the dock coming up over here by SuperAfim. He's still getting his fishing ships out on this side. We'll see what sort of a build order we're going to see for SuperAfim. My advice for Isis on this map is basically you go for a 4-4-4, maybe even a 4-4-3, and then you put villagers onto food. You should be able to find yourself a 4:45 advance time or a 5-minute advance time here with Egyptian most of the time. As we do see Brickhead coming back, going to drop that dock down. That Ulfsark has come out to drop a house as well. And I imagine we're going to be seeing the temple coming up very, very shortly here for Brickhead, as he's going to be attempting to get a decent advance time. SuperAfim, on the other hand here, I'm not sure exactly why it is, but I think he's undercooked it. I think the build, whatever build he's done here, he's not going to have the food to advance. In fact, he doesn't have the food and he doesn't have the temple up. We'll have to go back to the drawing board at some point here and see if we can work out exactly what Egyptian is meant to do here, because I'm pretty sure at the very worst, a 5-minute advance time is possible here for Egyptian, and it does look like SuperAfim is struggling with that one, whereas Brickhead looks like he's going to be able to advance very, very shortly. He's getting out his fishing ships onto this location as well, playing it nice and safe, getting another dock down over here. He's going to be able to put a dock up over on this position as well and start playing defensively. The temple is up late as well, so both players here seemingly quite far behind on their advance time. We'll see if it matters or not. I mean, it matters a lot less for the Egyptian player because they tend to want to be spamming docks out, and you can kind of get up 6 docks if you advance a little bit later here with Isis or Ra or Set, and you can kind of play from a defensive standpoint with the extra docks, with the extra defense. But for the Loki and the Norse players, I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see how it goes. Now, gold mines here are going to be an important thing. We do see SuperAfim's got a really nice gold mine here with a beautiful forest town center on it. That'll be the same case here for SuperAfim. For those of you playing at home who aren't really aware of what this map is and how it functions, it's called Calm Shores X, and the X is for mirrored. If you see a map on the Voobly thing that says X, it's a kind of an experimental idea in Age Mythology that maps could be mirrored so that they can always be balanced. Now, what tends to happen is that if you completely mirror a map, there tends to be a couple of strategies that become available which aren't normally available, or a couple of strategies that become much more a much higher success rate because you know the map before having scouted the entire map. So there's a couple of upsides, there's a couple of downsides for this, in that like one player gets a screw, you or the other player gets a screw. But like all of this stuff is an upside and a downside. So this is more of an experimental map, and we're kind of seeing that at the very least on a water map, it doesn't seem to be a bad idea. It doesn't seem to be a bad idea. So we'll see how it goes as Brickhead moving forward. He's got his Hersir out already. The Sphinx going to be searching around here as SuperAfim's dock under attack as the Sphinx comes through. Spots the Troll on this position as the Troll here going to get a couple of shots back, heal back up as well. And that Sphinx is, he got a little bit of damage done, but not really enough here as Brickhead pushing through with his longboats, trying to dictate the pace of this game here. We don't see Hersir through at all here as the Hersir getting taken down on this position. Looks like one will not go down as the longboats pushing through here. Going to take these cabinets out, or at least try and start taking the cabinets out, as now we do see SuperAfim has got himself 6 cabinets to the 4 longboats of Brickhead. We also see what must be a healing spring getting thrown down in the main base. Brickhead going to be sitting back at this point. He's actually completely stopped longboats going down to the bottom side of the map now. We do see the very early prosperity here from SuperAfim. He does have himself the upgrade pickaxe, but no shaft mine, so it gets a little bit of value out of that, but not crazy amounts of value, as Brickhead is just sitting here with those longbows, not really doing all too much on the water. He's got a lot of food in the bank here. Is he putting villagers onto wood or onto gold? He's putting villagers onto gold, it seems, building dwarves, as pickaxe going to be coming through, and to me, it kind of looks like Brickhead has baited SuperAfim into a huge production of cabinets here, and the attempt from Brickhead is going to have to be, well, he's got 2 options here. He could go for a Njord idea where he gets himself out the Kraken to try and help defend his water here, as he has lost all of his longboats on the top side, or as he's going to be pushing down onto the bottom here, going to start taking out the docks over here and see if he can clean this up as the longboat's starting for Brickhead. Or he can go for a Bragi timing where he just sacks the water and he goes full in onto the main base of SuperAfim and just tries to clean that out, as we do see some cabinets have started up here, but the dock is going to go down fast. We don't see another attempt at a dock over here. A couple of units starting to move over onto this position to take out the trolls and everything else over here, as we do see the Sphinx coming in. The Hersir going to come over here to try and deal with this as well, as the Sphinx getting taken down by the Hersir. The troll looks like it will be falling. Will the Sphinx fall as well? Yes, it will, as the dock does manage to get taken down, and an Einhjar spawn going to come through. The 6 longboats out here. We see 2 cabinets are out as well for SuperAfim. Is that going to be enough for him to hold over here or not? As SuperAfim now, he's got himself the 12 cabinets over on this position, and Brickhead has snuck himself some fishing ships on that position as well. Doc's trying to get thrown back up by fishing ships over here, as Brickhead doesn't care about sitting underneath this dock for the time being. He's got himself enough damage output with those longboats. Is he still building longboats? No longer, as the dock here will go down. We do see a couple more cabinets coming through here as the Pharaoh coming in to try and deal with this, to try and hold on to this position. But does it matter or not? Will it be fast enough? As we also see the Einhjar helping to take down those axemen nice and fast. It looks like SuperAfim here over a little bit kind of underestimated the army there of Brickhead, as the cabinets do survive, but it looks like the dock with those fishing ships will be able to get that one back up, as SuperAfim has pushed Brickhead ever so slightly back, and we'll see what Brickhead's going to do next, as the cabinet's still sitting on the back here, waiting, taking a look. What's Brickhead's plan as he does pull his Hersir back? He's sitting up in the center of the map here. SuperAfim is in a bit of a wild place. He's kind of lost these fishing spots. He's gained the fishing spots back over here, as the cabinets do spot some fishing ships over here. Brickhead does pay attention, going to be garrisoning back in. SuperAfim pulls back. Brickhead could chop a dock down here and put a couple more fishing ships, but it looks like Armory is coming up, and now the big question that we're all wondering is coming in. Bragi or Njord? And we do see Bragi. Makes a lot of sense here, given that the water at this point, having the Kraken, not going to matter. It's not exactly a semi-fast. Well, it is a semi-fast heroic to some degree, but it's not the type of semi-fast heroic that we're used to seeing from Norse players. So the idea of having the walking woods and the ships and the Kraken popping out here is not going to be that big of a deal because there's nothing really here for Brickhead. And Brickhead's also kind of said, I don't even care about the water over here either. As look at this, SuperAfim, he's still building cabinets on this position to try and defend the bottom water. And Brickhead is like, I can just go full gold economy now. And that's not, it's absolutely true. You can just put dwarves and nothing but dwarves on gold for quite some time, chuck a market down and be in a really good position. He's also got Hunt, and he's got, well, not necessarily Hunt, but he's got a lot of Herdables in his main base. He's going to be able to pump out units quite hard here. But the problem that he's got is that there's going to be a ton of Axemen out. And can the Brickhead army here do enough damage or not is the big question. Is the Brickhead looks like he's maybe accidentally building fishing ships here? Not sure what that's about, but he does build one of those as another longhouse coming down. The villagers on this position, on this gold mine. There's a big shot here for Brickhead to get a gold starve. If you're Brickhead here, if you're playing on this sort of aggressive Loki, I would recommend trying to put longhouses down on each of these gold mines here as well, just to ensure that nothing can get snuck here as the units pulling in, the villagers pulling away. There is going to be Ancestors Eclipse here for SuperAfim to try and hold here, but we do see the Pharaoh is going to be able to get taken down. We see an Iron here. That's going to be absolutely huge here for Brickhead as he tries to catch that out. We see the flaming weapons coming in. Ancestors Eclipse getting dropped down. How long can those Hersir stay alive on this position is the big question. As the Ancestors coming in, is going to be feeding the resources in to Brickhead, or at least feeding the favor into Brickhead, as Brickhead pulling away with his Hersir for the time being here, trying to snipe units as best as he can. And it does look like he's going to be trying to retreat away from this Ancestors Eclipse. Gets the damage done, gets the God Power click, but there is going to be no more flaming weapons either for him as he does decide to pull away. The cabinet's sitting on this position, not really doing all too much here either. As Brickhead pulling all the way back home, away from the Ancestors Eclipse for the time being, recouping his losses. Plenty of wood in the bank here for Brickhead if he wants to start farming behind this as well. 41 villages for Brickhead to the 33 plus there's 18 fish. So it's kind of equal-ish in a way in terms of income here. You'd have to expect. So even though SuperAfim's kind of won the water, it's not going to matter all too much. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. As the Ancestors does finish up, the Battle Ball's going to be coming through, going to be incredibly strong as the Mountain Giant can start taking down houses. That can be a really tough thing for SuperAfim to deal with, as we do see Brickhead saying, no, these gold villagers over here, get off this gold mine. The Battle Ball's coming in. Got to be careful not to run your Hersir straight into Axeman there, and we do see that Brickhead just snipes a unit here. Brickhead's playing on an absolute another level here in this game, as SuperAfim is desperately going to be attempting to hold here, as the raiding cavalry trying to kill off those Axemen, and the Hersir trying to kill off the spearmen here is very, very difficult. But with the Battle Balls coming in to take down villagers, this is huge. Look at the villager count here for SuperAfim falling, as Brickhead's desperately trying to keep his unit count high here to keep this pressure up. Maybe he's gone a little bit too overzealous on these attacks as the Scorpion Men coming in to deal with the raiding cavalry nicely. Lots of villagers falling here, though. The Pharaoh on the back getting taken down, as well as another Battle Ball spawn here for Brickhead comes through. But Brickhead, at this point, most likely does need to pull back and regroup. He's done the damage to the economy. He's going to have to ride a storm here, as the furious Egyptian retaliation is 100% going to be coming his way here. At this point, not pulling back those units just yet, more units streaming in. He's 100% got himself into an economic lead here. Fishing ship advantage for SuperAfim, but the villager count is so low that it's got to be close in terms of income. But Brickhead, what's the answer to this army that SuperAfim's made at this point? Trolls wouldn't be a bad idea here for Brickhead, in all honesty. Taking out the Scorpion Men, taking out the Spearmen, taking out those Axemen nicely, playing from a defensive position here. Do we see any attempt at that? We are still seeing Battle Balls coming through for Brickhead. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. We'll have to wait and see as he pulls all the way back. We see Funeral Rites coming in. Brickhead's got to have, he's got a gold mine back here that's not going to be easily pushed off of for the time being. Is to throw an Axeman, going to clean up a couple of units here, and SuperAfim feels like he's overstepped. He's pushed here just a little bit, even though though there's really not that many units out for Brickhead at this moment. And Brickhead's going to realize, yep, he's just got to pull back for the time being. A couple of longhouses going to go down here. Lots of wood in the bank here for Brickhead to pump up longhouses and everything, but he's only got a handful of infantry units to throw them up. One of the biggest weaknesses, for sure, of Norse, and one of the biggest strengths of Norse as well, is the fact that your infantry do build your buildings. So we'll see what Brickhead can do to try and keep himself alive here, as SuperAfim, at this point, he is over-military. I can't say the word. He's got too much military. He's got too much military here at this point. So his villager count is not going to be going up anymore, but he did very smartly chuck all of his fishing ships down onto all of these bases. So that does help him out considerably, as the battle boars spot some villagers here going for a town center on this position, as the units queuing up over here as well. And Brickhead pulls back. More Hersir coming out. The farms are out with plenty of farms out for Brickhead here in this game. As the town center coming up over here as well. SuperAfim going to be trying to take down the battle boars, as the units taking a fight on this position that I don't think Brickhead needs to be taking here. He should be thinking about getting the town center up, taking this game into the Mythic Age, where he gets a big advantage, having the Nidhogg, having the Fire Giants, having the Ballista. The other problem here for Brickhead is going to be, how does he secure a gold mine on this position here, with the dwarves finishing this gold mine up here? Obviously, a hill fort wouldn't go astray here, but can Brickhead put the effort into getting that up, put the time in to getting that up? As another longhouse going to be coming through here, as the army composition here for SuperAfim is doing absolute wonders in this game. The priest here with funeral rites able to take those battle boar down really, really fast here as well. As a longhouse trying to come up, as Brickhead is trying to get units out. He's spent all of his resources. He's grabbing per scene for some reason, as he's getting his fishing ships back out, as the Drakkar coming out to harass some fishing ships on this position. As a Leviathan, actually, how did he get the Leviathan? Well, he must have built it manually, because it should have come out the top there. An interesting defense from SuperAfim. We'll see how much that's going to work. Brickhead's still trying to keep that economy going. It's still it's still in a great position. But again, the problem is going to be gold. And we do see Brickhead moving forward. And this is also SuperAfim smartly defending his next gold mine here. And we'll see how it's going to go. There's a longhouse coming up over here for Brickhead. And the Hersir chasing down those Scorpion men nicely here. As the battle boar going to come in and try and take out these infantry units, these barracks units, as best as they can. Villagers going to be getting taken down on the back here. But now SuperAfim is 3 town centers. He's kind of got his economy back into gear. He's got his fishing ships out. He's in a great position. We see some units coming over here. Could potentially see a dock get dropped down and some harass onto these fishing ships as well for Brickhead if he wants to continue down that path. As we do have now SuperAfim can start getting himself those siege towers out to break through on this position, though, to be honest, just going Mythic Age here for SuperAfim would not go astray. As the Axemen just coming in, and they're just absolutely dismantling these Hersir of Brickhead. It's the Hersir trying to break through those priests so that the battle boar can actually do something, but you know, SuperAfim's doing a great job of keeping the priest numbers high to keep on killing off those myth units of Brickhead. And Brickhead on the back here, we do see a market attempting to come up, but the Axemen are causing problems here. And Brickhead in this moment says, didn't quite work out, and he taps out. That huge attack onto the villages of SuperAfim was gigantic. He pushed SuperAfim's economy down significantly. I think, honestly, if Brickhead had managed, if he just built like 2 more longboats, literally 2 more longboats, I think he would have been able to win this entire water, and then he would have had all of this water for himself, which would have been absolutely gigantic. That push would have been much, much more severe, much more punishing, and Brickhead would have been in a much better position. But because SuperAfim got all of this water for himself, he was able to ride the storm, so to speak, on that attack that Brickhead tried to do, and SuperAfim manages to find himself even in this series. Well played here by SuperAfim, claiming the second game. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.